One mistake that I see traders do a lot is to try to solve their problem patterns or break toxic habits by not having a defined emotional management routine. So one day they might journal, the other day they might use a breathing technique, the next day they might take a break from the session. So there's this inconsistency when it comes to managing stressful situations in the market. And so the brain doesn't know this. The brain doesn't know about your goals, and it gets confused about the path you want to follow, and it will not reinforce any specific pattern. So an important thing to realize here is that the way to undo toxic patterns or to break free from toxic patterns is to replace them with another pattern. And this is the reason why having an emotional management routine is very key. Just like you have your trading routine, your journaling routine, perhaps your pre-trading session routine, you want to have a routine with activities that you can engage, like a step-by-step guide to go through every time you feel that urge of your autopilot trying to take over. And so by having this routine established, there's a little space for doubt. You just have to become aware when the trigger happens, and you execute that set of activities as steps. And this video will be about just that. The steps that you can use to build your emotional management routine. So let's get into it. So the first step is recognition, as I was explaining. If you don't become aware of when the pattern is trying to take over, when emotions are starting to get intense, then you will lose grip over that pattern. So becoming aware of this state is really important. There are many methods you can utilize to recognize the cues or the indicators of your toxic patterns. You can just raise your awareness, set your intention before the session. You can use alarms to kind of like alarms at random hours, and when they go off, you look inwards, you make your emotional check-in. You can also use journaling while the session goes on. So there's a series of activities that you can engage in order to raise your self-awareness throughout the session. This step is about that. Number 2, interruption. As you become aware, you want to say stop. You want to put a brake on your autopilot. And sometimes just saying stop aloud helps you really put that brake. So try this for yourself. Once you become aware that this pattern is emerging, just say aloud, stop. And then on to the next step, which is decision timer. So what this is you giving yourself 5 to 10 minutes to execute your reframing technique, which would be the emotional management routine in itself. And so you can use your phone alarm, whatever it might be, and put the time to start counting and then passing to the next step, which is acceptance. So you were in the session, you started to experience stress, you became aware, you put a stop on it, and now you have your timer. What will you do next? You need to process your emotions, to understand what's going in your mind. So this step of acceptance is about validating, accepting, and processing what you're feeling at the moment. And so you can jot down your thoughts and your self-talk in a piece of paper, just to externalize it, just to channel it outwards and understand what is wrong with that perception, which is the next step. Identify perception distortions. So this step is about looking at your current perspective and trying to recognize what's wrong about it. Asking yourself questions, okay, what can be wrong about it? What can invalidate my current perspective? What's the information I'm missing here? And, there's a post where I talk about the 12 cognitive distortions. It includes black and white thinking and, mind reading and a series of other ones that you can go through and understand what are the ones that you are getting stuck in when these stressful moments happen. Then we have the replacement, and this is facultative. Many traders, they They write down, they journal what they're feeling, and then they start trading again because they feel ready. You can also utilize those last minutes of your timer, remember, with some sort of another activity that takes you out of the charts. Drinking a cup of water, doing some push-ups, some intensive exercise, reading, meditating a breathing technique. So whatever you choose to reduce the intensity of that emotional state. And finally, if you arrive at the charts and your intention is to keep on trading, then you want to connect emotionally with your trading goals, with your intention. So you want to think about the benefits of following your trading rules, connecting with your vision, and also about the consequences of disrespecting them. So this is what rule following really means. It's not about only to follow rules that are imposed on you, just like in school. No, you need to have a deep connection with your rules to really grasp and understand why is it worth to follow them. So this is your last step. Now, after this routine, you do an emotional check-in, you understand if you are ready to keep trading, and hopefully, yes, and if so, you are much more ready to give your best performance, because your mental edge right now after this routine will be on top of your game. So now it's your turn. What I'd like you to do now is for you to design your own emotional management routine. These are the steps that I give you as a recommendation, as guidelines, but it doesn't need to follow these exact steps. It does need to make sense to you, and it does need to be defined. So there is a template for download in the post, and I'll leave the link below of the post so you can go there and download the template. And so it's designed for you to outline each step of your emotional management routine and then start practicing it already today or tomorrow. Just like you plan your trading ideas and your trading session, it's really worth it to plan how you will handle stressful moments. How will you self-manage when you get triggered? So this exercise is just for that. I hope you find it useful. Peaceful trading, Sara. If you enjoyed this video, you will love the High Performing Trader newsletter. So each week I drop 2 posts, a free version and a paid version, and they are all super practicable, super actionable, with pieces of advice that you can implement in your trading right away. And I'll leave the link below in the description so you can take a look. You can visit all the past posts and stay tuned for the future ones.